So let's look at today's subjects. There are 4 subjects. First one, understanding anxiety. And when we say understanding anxiety, we're talking from the mentor and the mentee perspective. Second, there are basically 5 anxiety systems that I've seen since 2001 working with mentees that play upon them on a regular basis. And I'll be sharing those with you. Next are working and non-working habits. We all have habits. If they help us, they're working habits. If they don't help us, they're probably our mentees' non-working habits. They have both as well, and we need to teach them how to use the working habits to empower themselves to transform the non-working habits. And because we have systems and systems play upon us, the 4th one is anxiety system hacks. How do we hack these systems and transform them? This is a subconscious thing, consciously exercise. So let's start with understanding anxiety. There are, as I said, 5 anxiety systems. The first one is body-based anxiety, and this is where the body creates the issue. In other words, we are not in our body, we're in our head. You think that was mind-based anxiety, but that's a different thing. Body-based anxiety is when we're not in our body, and think about it. These people spend their times on screens. Well, what are we doing right now? They spend their times on screens. They are not in the physical world, and they're on games, on their handhelds, right? And so they are always in their heads, not in their bodies. And you say, you're not grounded. Well, it's true. They're not grounded. That body-based anxiety is out-of-body-based anxiety, if you wish. Mind-based anxiety is, again, where the mind is working against them, where they were taught maybe at one point, you say tough things to yourself and it's going to inspire you. And now that voice in their head is torturing them. That is mind-based anxiety, where the thoughts in the mind actually stop them from doing almost anything. This is a very interesting one. Totem-based anxiety is essentially where there is an object that creates anxiety. Could be a test, could be a paper, could be receiving letters because the last letter was someone dumping you. If anyone wrote letters, maybe email. So totem-based anxiety, we'll go into greater detail at another class, but it's very powerful. Time-based anxiety. This is one you're probably all familiar with. We know so many people that the idea of getting to something, leaving something, preparing for something, doing something in a certain amount of time becomes the enemy, and that is time-based anxiety. And finally, there's distance-based anxiety, which is an odd one if you think about it. But as I explained to you, it'll make more sense. So every time Junior goes from home to the school, he starts to panic halfway through and ends up coming home feeling sick, not doing well, and not showing up for class. So you'd think it was the paper or the class or of those things, and it could be, but it could also be a distance-based anxiety when the person leaves their room, when they leave their home, when they get to a certain point, in other words, different things that trigger them. That is actually distance-based anxiety, which can seem like some of the others. And we're going to cover 2 of these today. So I use Batman Takes Time Dancing as a way to remember body, mind, totem, time, distance. And because totem and time are both T's, well, you know the second T is time. Batman takes time dancing. Say it with me, class. Excellent. So I want you to remember that. So in your head, you're looking at someone, you're going, what is playing upon them? Batman takes time dancing. Yeah, I think it's a totem in this case. So it just lets you run through them. I like acronyms. Let's look at body-based anxiety.